They handed my lazy brother everything while I built my life from scratch. When their golden boy burned through $320,000 in months, they showed up at my door with suitcases, expecting me to fix their mistakes. What happened next changed our family forever. The coffee maker was still brewing when the aggressive banging started. Not knocking, pounding. The kind that screams entitlement before you even open the door. I already knew exactly who it was. Through the security camera I'd recently installed, I watched them gather on my porch. My parents, Rachel and Tom, flanked by my older brother Marcus, that familiar cocky smirk plastered across his face. 3 black suitcases sat behind them like soldiers ready for invasion. For months. That's how long it had been since they sold their beautiful suburban home. 4 months since they wired every single penny, $320,000, straight into Marcus's checking account. 4 months since Mom looked me dead in the eye and said, "Olivia, you're doing so well on your own. You don't need our help like Marcus does." Now here they were, homeless and desperate, ready to make their financial disasters my emergency. It wasn't always this twisted. Growing up, I genuinely believed Marcus and I were equals in our parents' hearts. How naive I was. While I worked double shifts at a diner and a bookstore to pay for college, Marcus partied through 4 different universities on their dime. While I saved every penny for my first home down payment at 29, he racked up credit card debt like it was a competitive sport. When Dad's heart condition worsened last year, I drove 3 hours every weekend to help with groceries, appointments, and household repairs. Marcus, he sent birthday cards. Maybe. Yet somehow, he remained their precious golden child. The one who just needed the right opportunity. I discovered their betrayal by pure accident. My neighbor, Mrs. Chen, casually mentioned seeing a "for sale" sign on my parents' lawn during our morning jog. No one had bothered telling me they were selling the house I'd grown up in. When I confronted them, Dad just shrugged. "The market was perfect, sweetheart. We couldn't pass up the opportunity." Then came the knockout punch. Every cent went to Marcus for his business venture. Some cryptocurrency scheme that screamed fraud from day one. "Marcus needs a fresh start," Mom explained with that patronizing tone I'd grown to despise. "You've got your career, your house, your stability. You're fine." That word, fine, echoed in my head for weeks. I wasn't fine. I was furious. But instead of exploding, I got calculating. I knew my parents operated under one assumption. Family meant unlimited access to whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted it. They'd raised Marcus to believe the world owed him everything, and now they expected me to be his safety net too. So I prepared for war. Step 1. I quietly changed every lock on my house, installing deadbolts that couldn't be picked or bypassed. Step 2. Professional security system with cameras covering every angle of my property. Step 3. A consultation with my attorney Jennifer, who helped me draft an ironclad occupancy agreement. The document was beautiful in its simplicity. No individual may reside in, store belongings on, or claim residency at this property without explicit written consent from the homeowner. Then I waited. Because I knew they'd come crawling back the moment Marcus's opportunity imploded. The pounding intensified. I took a deep breath, smoothed my hair, and opened the door exactly 6 inches. Just enough for the security chain to catch. "Surprise!" Mom beamed like this was some joyful family reunion. "We thought we'd stay here while we figure out our next steps." She moved to push past me like she owned the place. Except the chain stopped her cold. "What's this?" Dad frowned, rattling the chain like it was personally offensive. "Security," I replied, my voice steady as steel. "You can't just move in here." Dad actually chuckled, like this was all some adorable misunderstanding. Marcus said nothing, but his eyes were already scanning my living room, probably calculating which bedroom had the best Wi-Fi signal. I stepped outside, pulling the door firmly shut behind me. "You sold your house," I stated, looking directly at them. "You gave every penny to him." I nodded toward Marcus, whose smirk was finally starting to fade. "Those were your choices. But this house, this is mine. And your bad decisions don't buy you space here. Mom's plastic smile cracked. Olivia, we're family. You can't just turn us away. I can, I said, reaching into my jacket pocket. And I already have. The envelope I handed them contained a formal notice to vacate, complete with notary seal and legal letterhead. I'd had it prepared weeks ago, knowing this moment would come. It wasn't just a refusal. It was a legal document that could get them arrested for trespassing if they tried to force their way in. Dad's voice actually cracked. You'd really call the police on us? I won't have to, I replied. Because you're going to leave voluntarily. The silence stretched like a rubber band ready to snap. Finally, Marcus found his voice. This is heartless, even for you. I turned to face him directly. You had $320,000 4 months ago, Marcus. Where is it? His jaw tightened. No answer. Because we both knew the truth would destroy what little dignity he had left. That's what I thought, I continued. You burned through their entire life savings in 4 months. Their retirement, their security, their home. Gone because you convinced them you were some kind of investment genius. And now you want me to clean up your mess. Mom stepped backward, suitcase wheels scraping against concrete. We'll figure something out. But the fight was gone from her voice. They all knew I was right. I didn't respond. I simply watched as they turned and walked away, dragging their suitcases down my driveway like defeated generals retreating from battle. Inside, I locked the door and watched the security footage of them loading their car. I should have felt guilt, remorse, something resembling regret. Instead, I felt free. They'd chosen Marcus over me my entire life. They'd emptied their bank accounts into his hands and expected me to catch them when he inevitably dropped everything. They thought blood meant automatic entitlement to my hard work, my stability, my home. But family isn't about sharing DNA. It's about respect, boundaries, and mutual care. They'd never shown me those things when it mattered. 3 weeks later, I heard through the grapevine that they'd moved into Marcus's cramped studio apartment. Apparently, cryptocurrency wasn't the gold mine he'd promised. I didn't call. I didn't visit. I didn't offer help. Because sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is let people face the consequences of their choices. My door will always be locked to those who try to kick it down, but it remains open to those who know how to knock with respect.